how's spring been going for you and picking up new defense?
It's been a very productive spring, very enlightening. It's not so much just the scheme, but adjusting to the coaches as well. So I think it's been a good spring as far as understanding the schemes, because the schemes themselves are essentially simple. It's really understanding how they want you to do it and the level at which they expect it.
How has your job changed?
Well, I'm playing a different position. They moved me to safety this year as opposed to playing that star position that I was in Coach Johnson's defense. So just adjusting to being at the back end of things as opposed to being kind of on the front lines is a bit of an adjustment.
Who do you rotate with at your spot?
I'll rotate with Rudy Ford as well as Trey Matthews.
What's been the most difficult aspect of that?
I'd probably say the most difficult aspect of moving to safety would be just, like I said before, being on the tail end of things, not being having to see things later and be there later as opposed to you're there instantaneously. So kind of having not to jump the gun a little bit.
How much does the communication or the hand signals and things like that you guys do kind of change when you're that further back? You have to communicate more, I guess, with the guys in front of you, whereas the second level you're kind of communicating backwards. So
the hand signals kind of change as far as now the linebackers are depending on you as far as where you're rotating, where your coverage will end up being on, who you're rotating to, which side, who's coming down. So they're all now depending on you as opposed to, okay, I'm looking back at my safety, asking him what he's doing. Now they're looking at me, asking me what I'm doing. So that's the only difference.
Have you gone against Jason Smith at all?
I've had my fair share of encounters with him so far.
How's he doing?
He's going to be a great one. He's very elusive, he's very shifty, he's got a lot of speed, and he's got good hands. So he's a good receiver for us, and he's a joy to match up with on a daily basis.
Nick, talk about the scrimmage Saturday and how you thought the defense played.
I think defensively we're progressing. We have a very long way to go. The biggest room in the world is room for improvement. So we'll never feel like we've reached the point where we're the best in the country. It was we provided a lot of good effort. We put some good things on tape, but at the same time there were a lot of mistakes. There was a lot of mental errors that we have to correct. So I think going forward we'll take the good and kind of put those aside and focus on the negatives.
How was T-Rob been as a position coach for you?
He's definitely a change in pace from Coach Cheese. Coach T-Rob is very energetic and very involved, very animated, to say the least. But I've enjoyed him. He definitely knows how to get the best out of every single player.
What are your personal expectations for the upcoming season?
I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I expect to be the best in the country, and no one expects to go in and saying, oh, we're less than the best. I believe that we have the talent and that we have the coaches to be the best in the country, assuming that we put in the work and that we continue to get better and not get complacent. So my expectation would simply be to be the best.
You were ejected from a game last year, isn't that right? Like
Yes.
for kind of an iffy call.
Yes, sir.
It was a targeting situation, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it kind of adds to your reputation in a way that you're like, a bad man, or do you just kind of shy away from that?
I try not to rely on that. I try to every day go out and prove that that it doesn't matter. Each play is a different play. I got ejected one play, but the next play I could have got burned on a deep route. So one play doesn't define my career. It doesn't define who I am as a player. Everybody could have that one hit and then they get ran over the rest of their career. So it doesn't really matter. I have to come out every play and prove that I am a hard-hitting safety.
Along those lines, after that against LSU and that happens, did Chris Frost talk to you at all? Because he had a situation also where he got ejected from Arkansas State. So just out of curiosity.
Yeah, he did in kind of a jovial manner, but he told me, he's like, well, why didn't you go and pump up the crowd before you walked out? So it was a more of a jovial aspect. It wasn't just saying, hey, do this next time. He said it was an iffy call, but it was more just in a joking manner.